recognizes everything, obviously.
So it can recognize this.
Yeah, and
CapCut, do something with
if
this.
I have,
Do something with this, CapCut.
there you go.
Do something with this.
There you go.
What are you gonna do with this?
We'll find.
What are you gonna do with
out.
this? What are you gonna do with this? Yeah.
Okay, we got it out of the system.
Am I gonna hit 619 is the question.
Booyaka.
Booyaka, booyaka, rambling dudes. Booyaka, booyaka.
That's a good one. That's how it's gonna start.
You can say like that.
Yeah,
Is it going right now?
it is. It
Are we
is
recording
recording.
right
Are we recording?
Are we?
Are we?
I don't know. You're in charge of this thing.
You're lost. Yeah, it's recording. You see the red light
Oh, okay. I see.
on the bottom?
Yeah.
That
Okay.
right there.
Yep, I kind of see it. I got bad eyes, to be honest with you. I went to the eye doctor many a time. Anyways, booyaka, booyaka, rambling dudes. Booyaka, booyaka, rambling dudes.
Yes.
Yes, welcome to the Rambling Dudes podcast. I am Labreezy. It ain't easy. We are rolling in with episode number 9, I believe, in our series of ramblingness. Last week, it was just
8.
Trevor. Was 8?
Yeah, we're on 8. It's okay.
Extra
We're live.
bonus content on the Patreon. I'll get off of that. It's probably best that I don't talk about that. No Trevor today. I'm filling in as always. Yeah, so we're just kind of going back and forth. Hopefully we get Trevor next week and get back to our regular scheduled program. But how awesome is this mask? This is Rey Mysterio,
pretty cool, huh?
right?
Yeah. Yes.
Where did you get this mask from?
WWE shop.
WWE shop.
Not sponsor.
Not a sponsor, but we're willing to accept
Hey.
some offers, you know?
I
And that
appreciate
goes
it.
to anybody out there, you know?
Just give us some freebies. That's it.
Free beers. It's getting
For
kind
now.
of sad, the desperate plea for money. I think we should just focus.
Hey, I'm not asking for money. I'm just asking for a shirt.
Okay, asking for
I don't
like
need your money.
a free
for now.
shirt. Maybe they'll send us like free promotional stuff, right?
All right, let's start over. Yes,
Okay.
money's
Welcome
welcome.
to the Rambling Dudes, episode 8, not 7 or 9. I am Labreezy. It ain't easy here with Yachty. No Trevor today. Today I'm wearing a mask. Booyaka, booyaka, Rey Mysterio.
619.
619. It was one of my favorite finishing moves of all time. Is the 619.
Yeah, it's one of the more entertaining.
Yes,
Doesn't-
it's very fast paced, and to think about how he set it up like the first time, like I think Randy Orton does that with his DDT through the ropes as well.
right.
Like setting it up is kind of tough, but I think it
Yeah.
works great for his size and mobility and what he can do.
Right.
Is this weird talking to me with the mask on?
No.
Let's
That's
talk
alright.
about your boy though. I see you got a new shirt on.
Oh yeah.
El Champion.
All rise to el campeón.
El Campeon. You can
Yeah.
tell I'm very not Spanish.
Like camp.
It's Campeon.
There you
El
go.
Campeon. Not for long though, because he's definitely losing at Clash at the Castle to Drew McIntyre. I think.
We'll see. We'll see.
I think.
they're gonna keep him to be like the champion for like a few seconds every single time.
Okay, so
I just
do you think his reign's gonna go further than Clash at the Castle? Sorry.
it could, depending on the story, if it keeps it entertaining. And
How do you
Choose the
feel he's been
audience.
as champion so far? You been keeping up?
I have seen highlights. I don't sit down and watch the full shows and whatnot.
How do they do
Uh,
a whole show in this mask? It's hot as hell. Like
Uh,
it's so hot.
It might be a little bit different.
I don't think it is.
Maybe, but like he
Now I can't
has
review-
a bunch of like opening stuff in the
Yeah.
back too, so it's not that one covers the whole thing.
Okay. Yeah, I can't reveal my face now because I'm a luchador. So now I have to wear this
Exactly.
every episode here on out.
You gotta drive with it, go home.
And then on our Patreon, we'll have a mask revealing to reveal my true identity.
Yeah, because you don't know who he is. It ain't easy.
It ain't easy. It's definitely not me. But I think his reign has been decent. I think they're just trying to pit him too much as like the good guy within
They're
his
kinda
bad
switching,
group, like
right?
his heel group. So they're trying to make him kind of a babyface champion, where like Rhea did that just by being a heel. Like she's kind of a heel babyface, whereas they're really pushing him to be the babyface. Like, hey, I don't need your help. He's trying to be the leader of the Judgment Day.
Hmm.
And I think with the Judgment Day too, there's kind of this loss of identity when you're missing Rhea and you're missing Dom. Dom's kind of doing his own side quest right now with his Tommy John
Cyclist.
surgery. Yeah, he made out with
I know.
Liv on Monday night. Talk about look at this guy. You know, he's got Rhea, he's got Liv in the wings, and he's got a crazy mullet and a dirty mustache. Like, what's going on with that?
Man, I don't know. And then people have been pointed out that his bandana is in another female wrestler has it too.
Oh, really?
Or,
Another
or
one.
was it Liv
It
Morgan
was
that
Liv.
has?
It
Okay.
was Liv. So it ended up Liv ended up kissing Dom, and it kind of looked like he didn't want to kiss her. But I
Hmm.
think like the story's gonna be Liv and Dom, and then when Rhea comes back, it's gonna be all over that. Like she took everything from her, in that sense. Which is interesting, I think. It took them a little bit longer to get there, and I don't think they were expecting Becky Lynch to not sign,
Hmm.
which is huge because that could have been her last match for a while on WWE, potentially move to AEW. I don't know. I think it's all money figures now, but I don't foresee her leaving WWE just with, Seth being there and the
Hmm.
openness to her family and traveling and kind of that part time schedule. Even though we see Mercedes Monet, Sasha Banks
Hmm.
on AEW programming, which is great for them. I thought she had a killer match at Double or Nothing, which was fantastic. Talk about pure chaos, man. That's the first time I watched a show of pure chaos. Uh, but have you seen any of the like? What do you think in terms of the Judgment Day? Do you think they will end up kind of splitting up, or do you think they're going to stay intact? I feel like they had so much good momentum, but now it kind of feels like there's signs that they might break this group up.
Yeah, it's looking like that too. But I think with having Rhea out,
Yeah,
Dominic out, it kind of lost a little bit of his charisma for the group, I
yeah.
guess.
Is it weird to talk to me with this mask on? By the way,
No, I
no.
just it's fine with me. It's fine with me, man. Don't worry.
Okay, it feels kind of weird. I feel kind
No,
of
you're
weird.
good. You're good.
I feel,
Uh yeah. Do you want to take it off? You can take it
yeah, I
off.
want to take.
Oh no, the luchador.
Oh, revealed. It's a middle-aged white guy.
Oh no, no, no.
All right.
There
Wow, this is way better.
you go. You can breathe now.
Whoo, whoo. I gotta get in shape. Holy smokes.
How does it feel to reveal your face?
I feel as though I looked a lot better looking with the mask on.
People in the comment will say that.
Yeah, they're gonna say that. Anyways, the Judgment Day.
Judgment Day, I think that they might still have a little bit of a run, and then I feel like once they bring what's the name of the Wyatt family? Wyatt
The
family.
Wyatt Six.
So once they bring that in, it might
So that's projected
call
June
it
17th after, which makes sense, like having two like heel factions.
right. And then you have well, I mean, they did have two heel factions for a while, but
Hmm.
this one is more darker, or it
Yeah,
used to be more dark than the other. But maybe now they're gonna just
which I think
split it up.
that the Wyatt Six can go one or two ways, right? It can
Hmm.
be really good. Like they've been doing extensive marketing campaigns or like campaigns to like promote this group through like Twitch, as well as through the QR codes that they've been doing, and they've been doing a really good job. People getting excited about it, and but it's kind of been a long game, and I feel like people are like ready to be like, okay, like, just do it already. Like, how long do we have to wait for these people to show up that we already know who they
Right.
are and they've established themselves before?
Hmm.
Like, we'd want to see them. So I think when they first come in on Monday, who's going to be their target is a big thing because like that group does not debut without attacking someone, in my opinion. Like they're just not going to show up. Like it's going to be in the middle of a big match, potentially, or some big moment. Like you don't just like say, "Oh, here's Uncle Howdy," and you just or they all show up, but it's got to be like targeted towards someone. That's what made Bray so good. Is like he popped up, and you're like, "Oh no, like that guy's in trouble." And I think maybe like if Damian Priest loses to McIntyre, McIntyre wins in Scotland. He finally gets his big moment in front of people where he won it during the pandemic. I don't like that his run is short for Priest, right? Couple months. It's kind of how WWE's done it though with
That's what they
those
did
champions,
before.
like
I
Jinder
think, yeah,
Mahal.
yeah.
You know, it's all a big pop at the time, but like usually Money in the Bank, they do not a extended run when it's kind of a mid carder. No offense to him, he is a good champion and good wrestler overall. But I think like McIntyre's the money um, for what it's worth going into Scotland and getting that moment in Scotland. On the flip side, though,
You could have a rematch and take it the next day.
or you know, on the flip side, you push Priest, you put him over in Scotland. You have heel heat in Scotland because that crowd's going to be nuts like it was in England. So I think if they do that, that's a good opportunity to elevate his and that group's potential. And then maybe you do the Wyatt Six against the Judgment Day type situation where you have faction versus faction
Hmm.
and kind of like those paranormal elements, which they originally wanted to do with the Judgment Day, which I think is funny, but Edge didn't want to do it. To go head and head,
Hmm.
which could be good programming. But what does that lead up to when you got the Bloodline 2.0, the Bloodline, and all this other stories happening, which is good.
Hmm.
I like having multiple stories,
Right. Yeah. No.
especially before bedtime. You know,
For Monday nights.
it does run late. It's a long show.
That one, right? It's 3 hours.
Yeah, 8 to 11. I think with like the Netflix one, hopefully they can dial it down to like 2 hours because I think 2 hours is a sweet spot for wrestling, personally, outside of pay per views.
Right.
But we'll see.
And that one, that I mean, they don't need ads there. I mean, I'm sure they're gonna do ads within the show,
I think
anyways.
they're just gonna promote their like main like series coming up or movies that they've made
Right.
in between, you know.
Yeah.
But it is an opportunity for them to sell ad space because they're gonna do a lot of more live sports. The big one being Mike Tyson and Jake Paul
Which has been
postponed.
postponed. Yeah.
Yeah, Mike Tyson,
It was supposed to be this weekend, right?
July. It's supposed to be in July.
July, the first week of July.
I think like the end of July, like the
That's
20th, July 20th, I think.
wait. So that's the current date.
No, they've moved it because Mike got sick on the plane. He had some ulcers flare up. You know, he's a young up and coming boxer at the ripe old age of 58. I'd be interested though if it happens now because I think it kind of throws into the air like, are we going to do this? I think people get a little antsy. So if they don't, they're supposed to announce something this week when
Okay.
the next date is. But it was weird because he said he's fine afterwards, and then they're postponing it, which seems logistically a nightmare if you're already selling tickets and everything for it.
But was the original date the 20th? I
Yeah,
think.
of July,
Oh, okay.
of
Okay.
July.
I thought that was the date that they postponed it to. I thought it was now and this weekend. But it's no. That yeah. That's too soon.
Yeah.
But anyways.
And I think that's a big part of it where it's like, hey, we promoted this fight and then who knows, you know, it's up in the air a little bit. And I think that affects kind of the card in general and a lot can happen in a couple weeks, especially with like weight cuts,
Hmm.
things of that nature with the undercard, especially when you got two really great women boxers going at it. Um, champions, which is crazy to think that they have Jake Paul and Mike Tyson as the main card, but still, it makes sense. They're going to sell the most
Well,
tickets.
is it Samantha Serrano? Is that a
Yep.
fight?
And
So her fight in Puerto Rico got canceled,
okay,
which is why she's fighting now.
interesting.
She got sick the day of
Okay,
the fight, so the in the fight itself, the fight night itself,
yeah, she's
they canceled through the like while the other fighters were
no way.
boxing.
Oh,
Yeah,
I think I heard
not
about
fighting
that.
boxers.
I think it's Katie Taylor is the person she's facing. Um,
Yeah, I
I
have
can't
to
think of her
look
last
up.
name,
Yeah, I have to
but
look
she's a
to see.
champion from Ireland, big name in the sport, and they had a brawl last time. I have to go back and watch it. Unfortunately, I didn't watch it, but I heard it was like one of the better boxing
Hmm.
matches of all time, not just women boxing. It was one of the better boxing matches. So that'd be great. Like if they
Yeah,
can get it to come together.
right.
I still, you know, looking at Jake Paul, Mike Tyson, it still blows my mind that we're even talking about it still. And then it prolongs it, so maybe they have additional options to promote it again, do some more press conferences. But I think it's going to be a couple months out now. I don't know, probably like August, September. You know, if they're smart, you know, they'd wait a little bit longer just because I think Jake thinks, oh well, they'll put it back on me that he had ulcer problems or whatever.
Oh,
You
right, right.
know,
Yeah, because I
so
was thinking like we are like almost 2 months away.
Right.
Why?
Why cancel it?
Yeah, like I understand within like a few weeks. That still sucks for the people that will
Mhm.
buy those tickets and whatnot.
Right.
But obviously they do refunds and whatnot. But
Yeah, that's still a logistical nightmare.
I mean,
100,000 people. Like
yeah.
we're talking one of the biggest boxing events of all time, and not having that that scheduled now is kind of puts it up in the air, especially with people that were planning on it. I think about the people that are like flying out of town to go to
Hmm.
this because I'm sure there's like Mike Tyson fans all over the world, and Jake Paul fans that we're going to travel to that event.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot to put this down. My bad. I
I'm
don't
just
know.
yelling into the mic. It would sound like that music from your '97 clip, but
Well, let me. I think I have to check to see if. No, no, no.
is it not working?
Huh?
Is it not working?
No, I got. We'll make a quick transition here. Hold up.
And continuity and action. We're back with the Rambling Dudes podcast. Your ad space could go there. Think about it. Here's a clip. Uh, do you ever like with editing? I love editing of the things that you've done with like the karate move sounds and the eyes. Is that like something you
Oh
find a lot
yeah,
of
yeah.
joy in?
It's fun to do it actually. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like doing that. But at least like the depending on where I'm at, like I could edit it.
Yeah.
You want to put this on?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
I
So
don't care. I mean, it's not my
side
podcast.
note, yeah, side note. So the way we edit the video and whatnot, it's through Final Cut Pro.
Okay.
And then I the main edit is there.
Mhm.
If I want to do a short, then I do it kind of like vertical, get it all set and
Yeah.
ready to go, and then I do the final touches like the effects and all that stuff and the CapCut,
Oh, cool.
which is a free app. Do you know CapCut? I'll
I
show you.
don't know.
I'll show you after. But
This is a good
it's
opportunity to
super.
get some CapCut money,
It's
if it's free.
it's from TikTok.
Oh, from TikTok.
They own it. All
Do
the edits that you can do on the TikTok video, it's in that app.
do we have to do a dance for CapCut?
You could if you want to.
Go viral.
That's why they have all this like weird things that will kind of look at your not weird things, but in the short that I created, it looked at the eyes and whatnot, and it recognizes
Hmm.
the body parts.
Got you. And that makes
It
it
recognizes everything, obviously,
so
and
it can
then
recognize this.
yeah, and
CapCut. Do
if
something with
if I
this.
have
Do something with this, CapCut.
there you go,
Do something with this.
there you go.
What are you gonna do with this? What are
We'll
you gonna do
find
with
out.
this? What are you gonna do with this? Yeah.
Okay, we got it out of the system.
Okay. Sorry.
Oh God. Anyways,
Do you think it's gonna be able to do something with that?
I'm sure it will
I don't
find
know.
something.
Do something.
We'll edit it out and
I chugged an energy drink. I apologize, but I don't because that's the kind of energy we need.
oh God. Yeah. So yeah, I'm sure I'll find something and
My heart's beating so fast right now.
just stop drinking all those at this time of day.
Triple digits.
Drink it in the day so that way you have the energy for the day.
I just need a 20-minute energy for this podcast. That's all I got going on for me right now. It's kind of sad. So this means a lot. There's the 3 people that watch it. Thanks, Mom.
It's just send it to your mom.
The heart emoji. Oh, is that a heart? Yes.
Oh, this thing, I don't even know why it does it.
I
but,
love it. I love it.
yeah. Why? I still haven't figured out why.
I think it's a benefit to our stream or our podcast in general.
Yeah. It's
Think
nice.
about all the editing you're saving.
A little effects and whatnot, but
I need to get in
it
shape.
doesn't take that much.
Whew. Whew. The end is near. That was, so that was why this
up.
man. I can see Trevor's face right now, like the adult in
It's
the
like
room.
shaking his head. It's like
He looks at me like an upset parent.
He's like, hey guys, I'm not coming back.
He's like, I'm never coming back. Do something with this.
Where were we before the
Oh, good luck editing that jump
transition.
scene.
Oh no, it's we're gonna keep it as is. I ain't
Okay, cool. I think that was fantastic content right there. Um,
Jake
yeah,
Paul.
Jake
Yeah.
Paul, Mike Tyson. If you need a fill in Jake Paul, man, I tell you, I'll take less money. I'll take a mill. I'll fall right on that canvas, face first.
You're good.
I'll do it. A couple years younger than Mike Tyson,
Take a couple punches
take
and
a couple punches. I'll take a punch. You can throw your best shot at me. I'll fall right down. I'll trip on the way to the ring if you want. Like I'm a good opponent. I'm a company man. I'd be happy to do it.
But
Do
the
you think?
fight that they cancel
Yeah.
in Puerto Rico, it was because she was sick, Samantha.
Oh, good callback. I was
Yeah,
surprised. I tried to throw you off as best I could.
but he's doing pretty good with helping the community, like the boxing community in
Yeah,
Puerto
yeah.
Rico. He's
I got
been doing a
I
lot
got
of stuff,
nothing
but
like
he gets a lot of hate and
I got nothing but like I like what he's doing. I think he's playing a character. Like
mhm,
that's what he's doing. He's playing what we do in pro wrestling, right?
right,
He's the bad guy. He wants booze. He wants people to hate him because as we talk about, any reaction is a good reaction. Anybody talking about you, whether negative or positive, is good. The worst case scenario is nobody talks about him, right? So
right,
if nobody talks about him, then that's when he fades off into the distance. But if you hate him, you're doing something for him. And there's a lot of
mhm,
kids that probably like him too, but everyone that I've talked to or heard, they're
yeah,
like, "Yeah, I'm going for Tyson." So he's doing a great job. I mean, and
yeah.
he's bringing a lot of opportunities to these fighters as well
Right, that's what I
to
like
fight
the
on this
most.
undercard.
Yeah, that's what I like the most of that he's doing is helping out. Even though he's liking obviously what he's doing, he's
Mhm.
liking boxing and not doing a bad job to be honest for
Right.
a rookie. He's not really a rookie anymore,
Right.
but
Yeah. I mean, he's been doing it for 4 years, and that's a lot to say. Hey, I'm bringing these eyes to the sport, and not to say like if you think about it, like Tyson Usyk fight. I don't know what their numbers did, but I think Jake Paul's last pay per view probably did more. But that was a hell of a fight. Probably one of the best boxing fights I've seen in a long time between Usyk beating the Gypsy King Tyson by a split decision, 1 point. But how many people talk about that? They're still talking about Jake
yeah.
Paul and Mike
And then
Tyson.
the people are not talking about the fight after that one, which is the Anthony
Right.
one and
Like I'm shocked people haven't talked to me about that Usyk beating Tyson Fury. Like
right.
that's insane. And I hear more about Jake Paul and Mike Tyson. So it's like really people who are watching boxing aren't, invested as like someone who I'm kind of invested, but I like watch that too.
Right.
So I mean, I'm a culprit. Like I'm not gonna watch that. Let me turn on. I want to see Jake get beat. So I mean, I think it's great for the sport overall. And it'll be
Yeah.
interesting to see when that plays out. I know it's gonna be a circus and a show, but who knows? I mean, that's the big thing with Tyson. I don't think that guy's gonna be like, yeah, I'm gonna take a fall, but
Yeah, he's
58,
not.
who knows? My stomach. Ah! I'm just kidding.
Right. Yeah, hopefully they can actually just find a date that is not too far out and
Yeah.
go from there.
I mean, yeah, it's definitely happened this summer. Are you don't do you watch UFC at all?
I mean, I watch it, but I'm bad with names and I don't follow every single card. But
Okay.
I could sit down and watch it if it's there.
Well,
I don't pay for any pay-per-view or anything.
I don't either, but I won't get into those details. Uh, Conor McGregor is going to be fighting Michael Chandler at the end of June, 4 weeks. So Conor McGregor is coming back after two broken legs.
All right.
The guy he faced last time, Dustin Poirier, just fought the champ Islam Makhachev, who's very similar to Habib. If you know Habib
Yeah.
Nurmagomedov, that's his coach. Islam had a great showing against Dustin. Dustin Poirier is probably his last chance at a title at 35 years old. Gave it his all, really showed good takedown defense, good scrambling. And Islam really shocked me with his hands because he's usually a wrestler. Ended up finishing by submission in the fifth round. So overall, good fight. But all the fights before that were absolute garbage. So they saved the pay per view with this last fight. One thing about UFC pay per views, I love the UFC, but if it's not like a great card, it feels like it's forever because it's like
It's dragging.
the main event happened after 12:30 Eastern time,
Oh,
and I'm like, like
get it done.
right, exactly. And I
Yeah.
love watching the fights. Like I watch from six p.m. the early prelims up until that point. So, kind of a bummer with the main card. But I think it's cool to see Conor McGregor come back, brings more eyes to the sport. He's the biggest fighter in UFC history in terms of audience. So we talk about the same thing of like Jake Paul's doing. Conor McGregor did that for the UFC. Everyone loves Conor McGregor. Everyone knows the name. He's going to fight Michael Chandler. Should be a banger of a fight at the end of the month. Uh,
I would compare Connor more to Mayweather, but
oh, Mayweather. Interesting. How so? I'd like to.
well, he brought audience, when he was fighting
I think
regularly.
the
Not now,
difference
but
between Mayweather and Conor McGregor is Conor McGregor was absolutely a fighting champ. He fought the best opponents, and not to say
oh
Mayweather
yeah,
didn't.
no, I'm just talking about bringing people. I
Right. Oh
wasn't
yeah.
about like
I
fighting
think
itself because he
the weird thing is with boxing is like you have to have a zero attached to your name to like make it that far. And like Mayweather was the king of that. He's like nobody's beat me. I've beat everybody. Right? I'm the best of all time. He'll say that. And I mean, statistically speaking, if you go by his record, he's best of all time. But he definitely brought eyes to the sport, more so than anybody during that era. Like
mm,
boxing wouldn't even be a thing during that era without Floyd Mayweather. Absolutely. And it was fun little fight watching McGregor fight Floyd Mayweather. And also Logan Paul fought Floyd Mayweather. So I mean he's making his money too. That's why they call him Money Mayweather, if you will.
right.
But promotion is huge. That's all this is promotion. It's cool to see how much boxers get paid though to like UFC fighters. I think that's a big topic of controversy, but it's cool to watch all in general. I like to watch it. But
Well,
McGregor versus
boxing
Chandler.
has been going on longer, obviously, than
Yeah.
UFC. So there's a lot more money involved. Well, it used to be a lot more money
I don't know
involved.
now, yeah. I mean, the UFC merged with like TKO Group.
Right, that's what I'm
That's
saying. The
so much
boxing
money.
used to be,
Yeah.
like the money bringing.
But I also think too there's like people always say like fighter pay is a problem, but when you look at the top fighters, they're making good money. Like Islam Makachev, who's a champion now, he's talking about $100,000 being nothing. He just won two bonuses. He's like, once I'm on this new contract, nah, two bonuses, okay. It's like okay, so they pay like their top guys, and then you got all these outside promotional things that they do with like Stake.com or whatever.
Right, they're
So
like
they're open to
sponsors and
commercial.
whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're marketable, you can make extra money, or you can work on your own brand and your
Hmm.
own product, and there's no restrictions there. Whereas like WWE, there's definitely restriction, like who you can partner with, what you can do. A lot of them don't have that, but they probably make more money. So it's interesting to look at, and it's all every company is different. So obviously they're putting their life on the line to go out there and fight, but it's what they
Hmm.
chose to do, and UFC's
Right.
the premier organization. They have the PFL where you can make $1 million in a tournament if you win it, which is a pretty good deal. So, I mean, that's an opportunity there too. If you're like, I'm not making that much money or disagreeing with it, go earn it in a tournament, you know?
Right. Right.
So, yeah, I think it's all interesting though. I love that, like the idea of the promotion,
Hmm.
whether it be PFL, UFC, WWE, Floyd Mayweather, Jake Paul, Logan Paul, whatever it is, because it's like these people single handedly, like especially in Floyd Mayweather, if you will, Jake Paul, Conor McGregor, brought all these people in to see them as an individual, whether good or bad, which I
Right.
love. I think that's fantastic. Like, and then you reap the reward. So he's getting paid big money because he brought them all in
Hmm.
through his own promotion. So it's kind of like the cheat code.
Yeah.
Like one thing I remember, I heard like Dane Cook, the comedian.
Hmm.
He used to rent out the arenas himself, not outside of like a promotional team
Oh, gotcha.
with his
Yeah. So
own
he did
dollar,
his own.
and then
Yeah.
he got all of the ticket sale money on his own. So basically, he did the math, and his profit outweighed his renting of it. So he's like, "I'm gonna rent it out myself."
Yeah.
And
Until his brother took advantage of
yeah,
it,
what a
and
crazy story that is, man. I
right.
didn't think I'd be talking about Dane Cook in 2024. What happened to that guy? I think he's doing well. I think he's doing well. I mean,
I saw him recently in the audience for the Tom Brady roast.
oh, was he in the
I
audience?
think so.
How was he doing? Is he doing okay?
He
Give
seems.
him a call. What's up, Dane?
I think he's back on tour.
Yeah. Dane Cook was like the biggest comedian in the early 2000s. I mean, he totally took advantage. I don't know how we got this is why we're called the Rambling Dudes talking about Dane Cook. What's
Hey,
up,
we'll take it
Dane?
all.
But he was like the biggest comedian in the early 2000s because of social media. big MySpace. He'd interact with all of his fans. I remember like on MySpace him just promoting himself, and that's like how I learned about him. And then he had like these one-liners that were amazing, and people would recite them at school and all this other stuff. So he kind of became this like almost like he wasn't a cult. I was gonna say like cultish like following.
Like underdog kind of thing.
Yeah, but he wasn't. He was selling out arena shows. So
Yeah.
wild. But back to how do we circle back? Dane Cook. Uh, what's up? Say hi to Dane Cook. Dane Cook, if you see this, be on the show. Do you think
Sure.
you think we could book Dane Cook?
I think I can pull that string.
Dane Cook, man. I know you're on the TikTok. Get on the Ramblin' Dudes
On the
podcast.
TikTok.
I love Dane Cook. I love me some Dane Cook. He's a good guy, from what I know.
No, like the way that I've seen some interviews after his brother thing happened, and
That's crazy.
if you don't know, to Google it, man. His brother basically stole his money.
Yeah.
But
And then he earned it back, though. I mean, he did
right,
tours, and that's like kind of where that renting of the own space kind of came afoot, and he earned all of his money back.
yeah, he had to be hands on and everything
Yep.
to not have people take advantage of him, like in
Yeah.
that when steal his money.
I think recently, like during the pandemic or something, he shot like a comedy special in his yard.
His yard.
Yeah, like
Well, I feel like a couple comedians actually did that.
yeah, but like
Is that
his was super produced, like
right?
invited people. It might have been after the pandemic, honestly, because there's people there. But
I know of Kevin Hart. He did one,
oh, really?
and it is a Netflix special thing.
Cool. I love comedy. One of my favorite.
I'll send it to you so you can
Yeah,
see.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
Drop the link in bio. Oh, is that the wrong phrase?
I'll text you. I'll text you a link.
Oh, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Oh, I made your dog bark by clapping. Oh,
You can't hear it.
okay. But going back to wrestling somehow, and hopefully your editing skills show up through this because we are.
Oh, it's not
definitely
gonna show up because I'll just leave all this in.
I love it. The authenticity.
Yeah, I mean we're humans.
We are in fact humans.
You know, like
things
things
happen.
happen. Like
And we're just the rambling dudes, right?
exactly. That's
Check us
that's
out on
the funny thing
Patreon.
of our show. I mean, there is a Patreon and there are archive Patreon, and that supports everyone in this channel eventually.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. There you go.
Yeah, I think it's cool though to be part of a community like the Nerd Archive and be able to produce content every day. Mainly, I just show up once a week, eat some gas station taquitos, drink an energy drink, and I'm ready to rock.
Well,
Karate.
just to give you a little backstory, our main goal was to have our own like studio kind of thing
Yeah.
eventually, but they are half of our people are in Florida, and well, most of them are in Florida.
Yeah.
and us here.
We have 3 people. We're a 3-man band.
Yeah. Bang. Okay.
You know that from the wrestling? I'm a 3-man band.
No.
It was Jinder Mahal, Heath Slater, and Drew McIntyre.
Well, this is the time I wasn't watching.
Well, look it up.
Yeah.
Get on the Googles. Look it up because that's what we are.
Was that your favorite band?
No, they were in a band. They were wrestlers.
Okay, so what would be your favorite faction so far?
Yeah, currently or since like I've started watching.
Ever like all time? Like
Mm.
maybe a couple, not just the top one. Because I know
Oh,
it's
I
hard
mean,
to pick. But
like
do you have a favorite one?
I really liked NWO and WCW. Like I thought
Okay.
that was like fantastic, even though it went way too long and way too far. I thought that was a game changer for the wrestling scene.
Right.
When you got Hulk Hogan turning heel with Kevin Nash and Scott Hall, and it was fantastic. I love D-Generation X, X Pac, Triple H, Shawn Michaels. They have some of the best moments of all time when you're like looking at comedy. The Tank up to WCW event, or I think it was an event. I don't think it was a headquarters. I think they went to that event for WCW, riding the Tank with like Billy Gunn and Triple H.
Yeah, I
That
remember
was like one of the
I
most
was at
iconic.
War, like Monday Night
Yep,
Wars. Yeah.
one of the most iconic things ever. Um, but those are like two of the big factions that I really enjoyed. I like the Wyatt family. I thought that was a really innovative faction. So when we talk about the Wyatt Six, I get kind of excited. I thought should never move away from the Wyatt family when it initially showed up, because when they had that Daniel Bryan story, I thought it was like one of the best stories of all time when he joined the Wyatt family for a brief stint, and then in that cage match said no and became Daniel Bryan again.
The yes
Uh,
guy.
yeah, I thought that was fantastic. But there's so many good factions that, like, you look through the time, it's just crazy to think about how many good ones they have.
Yeah. I like Evolution.
Evolution.
Evolution
Oh,
was one of my favorites.
yeah, that's one of the best ones too, honestly. I I love Ric Flair in that. I think like just like 60-year-old or 50-year-old Ric Flair taking those bumps and being part of that group kind of brought him back
Mhm.
into like the scene and gave him a second win. And then he had some awesome matches to end out his career as he continues to try to wrestle today. But that was one of the best, especially with like Randy Orton, really sent him over the top.
I still have images in my head from when I started watching WWE. It's a time when Randy Orton was starting,
Yeah.
but I remember him with a cast and doing interviews and all
Yeah.
that stuff. And then him going to a wrestler. I was like, I didn't know he was a wrestler. You know, at the time I didn't
Mhm.
know who he was. And it was just funny to me that he went from that to where he is, and then to be a champion and beating
One of
Triple
the
H.
greatest champions, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, he's got 15 world champions,
Hmm.
so he's, like, 1 away from Ric Flair's. I think it's, like, him and Cena are, like,
Yeah.
right there.
And him for he's not that old. Like
Yeah,
he's
he's
still pretty young.
44 or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Having accomplished that much. I mean, obviously
he's the
it's
youngest
all
champ,
stories and
yeah.
whatnot that are made by people, but still it's pretty cool.
And just to be,
He's
second gen is he third gen second generation superstar with Cowboy
yes.
Bob Orton, and he really did it. Like, he has some of the best move sets. He's just a natural athlete. Went through a lot of injuries too to be where he's at. He just had back surgery, I read. Like last year he was out 18 months.
Hmm.
Came back from that back surgery. His all through his 30s he had back problems. So he's like, right now I feel the best that I've ever felt in years because I'm not wrestling with any pain. Which is a big testament to all the stuff that he did do
Yeah.
during that time being in pain. Like, if he would have took that time off, who knows what would have happened. But you can't go back in time or anything, but not yet anyways.
Right.
Who knows? Technology is wild. The AI might figure it out. Uh, but Randy, coming back in his 40s and looking so phenomenal physically, you can see that he looks great and he's ready to go for a couple more years until the wheels fall off, kind of deal. It's kind of interesting because, like, I feel like the life of the pro wrestlers kind of extended more so. Like, you look at AJ Styles. Oh, what he did on SmackDown this week, where he faked his retirement, pulled the old Mark Henry, faked his retirement,
Mm.
and then
I saw some clips here and there of that. Yes.
yeah, and then did Cody Dirty on the stairs. I love that story just because we knew it was gonna happen. Like, the guy is in the best shape of his life at 46. I don't know if they're allowing steroids again or what, but they're looking fantastic. Like, even CM Punk is looking better than what he did a couple months ago in AEW. Like, you can see the progression of these older guys who are very instrumental in this story, looking great and being capable of doing these long matches. It's not
Hmm.
like, the Ric Flairs, if you will. Like, it's not like that old guy showing up. These are guys that are still in their prime, like 100%. Like, they're under 10 years left in the business, clearly. I think you start getting closer to 50, it's like you got to turn it off. But
Right.
like, Sting went till he was 62, like we talked about on the podcast. So I don't know, but it's exciting still to see like some of the favorites mix in with the younger talent and kind of the changing of the guard, especially as I get older. I'm like, oh, they're getting older too. It's like,
Right.
you
You
know,
still see, you can't believe like how you can see people change until you see something like old video. It's like, oh shoot.
you know what the craziest thing is? Like, Hulk Hogan's looked as old forever.
Right. Since the 30s.
Like, Hulk Hogan in the 80s, he looked as old as he looks now, so he looks
Yeah.
good. So the trick is to look old when you're young. So
Right.
when you get older, they're like, "Oh, you look the same." He's like, "Yeah, I've been old like forever because I went bald and when I was 30." So that's what I'm working on.
Yeah.
Looking
I'm
old.
working on that now
Yeah,
too.
but like he just it's funny to see that because, like, I look back and I was like, "Oh, like, when he versus Rocky, he was only in his, like, 40s or, like, late 40s?" Like, kinda like Randy Orton's age.
Yeah,
Like
right.
40, 50, like, in that range,
Yeah,
and it's like, I thought he was, like, 60 when he was wrestling him like that. So it was, like, weird to me to, like, think that like, process that in my brain.
yeah. Oh my god. And speaking of people with injuries and coming back and whatnot, Roman Reigns
Yeah,
is done filming some movies, and
nice.
he wasn't injured obviously, but um he's returning soon supposedly.
And I think that's great just because Roman has had, like, everywhere they go with the bloodline now, they chant, "We want Roman." So, we're looking at SummerSlam timeline, August, maybe he comes back for that. You can start working towards that WrestleMania card
Mm-hmm.
halfway through the year. And it's gonna be great with the Bloodline 2.0. Solo is doing a great job.
Bloodline versus Bloodline.
Yep.
That's gonna be great.
Survivor Series. I think that's what
Yes.
it's gonna be. They don't have any belts though, so there's like it's interesting to think like they're still gonna run the show without any like belts on them, unless like Solo wins like the United States because they're not gonna take the championship belt off of Cody. No chance. They're
Right.
gonna run that till Roman comes back, and then they're gonna run another Roman versus Cody, and then Roman probably gets it back. Would probably be what happens because Cody's only gonna wrestle for 2 more years. So
He said he's only gonna be
yeah,
wrestling two
so he
more
says he's
years.
gonna be done at 40. He's
Oh, okay.
38 now, so he's gonna wrestle a couple more years. Because he's like, I've seen what it does to wrestlers after they wrestle after their 40s. But I'm like, look at all the guys wrestling after the 40s now, looking great. So
Yeah,
who
but they
knows?
don't do it as often. So I think that's where he's gonna go. It's like maybe not do it as often. Still do
Yeah.
it though, but
Just like I mean, even he said he's gonna be done. Like hang up the boots, call it good. But I think he's also smart and knows money. Like you retire for a couple years, come back, you're gonna get a pretty decent paycheck. So he's a smart businessman too. So I want to put it past him. Like as soon as you're done too, you're like, what do I do now? That's the Ric Flair syndrome. What do I do now? you know,
man, that guy doesn't stop working.
which one?
Ric Flair,
Oh, he doesn't stop drinking. That's
that
what he
too.
does. Man, I don't know how that guy's alive. Like that dude drinks like 3 cases of beer a day. Woo, woo. He almost died, like legitimately. And he came out of his coma. He was in a coma for a week. Came out of his coma
Wait, when was that?
uh
A few years
almost 10
ago.
years ago,
Oh,
probably.
okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
I feel like it was before the pandemic. It was somewhere I don't know the exact date, but
Man,
within the last 10 years.
gotcha.
And he almost died. And he woke up and he was like, "Oh God, I'm alive. Well, I need a beer. Somebody bring me a beer to my hospital room." I don't know exactly how it went, but
Gee,
the dude was like that. So he did like a little bit of a sober streak for like 2 months, then start drinking again. I think it's better for him too because I think once you get that deep into your alcoholism, like he is, it's like
yeah.
if you stop, it might be worse for your health.
I mean, when I saw him, the
Yeah, you met him, yeah,
signing, yeah, the signing last year. Was it last year?
a couple years ago, I think.
Um,
Might have
dude,
been last year. I don't
yeah,
know.
it might
All
be,
the
but
years blend together at this point in my life.
he just looked out. Like
Yeah,
he looked like he checked out from that specific moment. Like he was just signing things
yeah.
and not really interacting much with people.
Really? So he wasn't, like, cool to talk to or anything?
No.
Yeah. I mean, once you're 73, I
When you
guess.
give him something, you have to give it to somebody else and
Oh,
like
you can't
give it
even go
to
up and
them.
talk to him, wow.
No, like it wasn't like you were that close to him.
Man, and he's like
I
this.
mean, the table was like right there, but still, like
Yeah,
it was not a good interaction.
and that doesn't sound, like, great, but, like, also he's 73, so you'd hope he had to do all these signings, like, he's been doing,
Wait,
like
he's 73. I thought he was older.
he might be a little bit older,
Yeah,
maybe 78, I don't know. Um,
he's up there,
he's up
but
there, but,
dude,
like, he legitimately, uh, does signings every week still, I feel like, makes money that
that's
way.
crazy.
Yeah, I don't know how he does it, but at the same time, you'd, like, wanna see, like, the Ric Flair that's high energy, like,
Right.
you know
I mean, I understand as a character, but that's he's made his life.
yeah.
I don't think he's much far from his real person.
Right, no,
Like,
and that's where they were talking about his documentary, how it's blurred these lines of him, the character Ric Flair, and Fleur, or whatever his last name is. So he's become Ric Flair pretty much.
yeah,
He became that character. which is it works for him. So he's like crazy how just culturally he's like one of the biggest wrestlers of all time, and speaks volumes to the work that he did early on. And not to take anything away from it, clearly live your life the way you want to live. I guess you're 78 now, so don't got much time left. You might as well enjoy it at this point,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
I mean, he's probably drank the other 50 years of his life, like more than that, 60 probably
yeah.
since he was a teenager.
You know who's another wrestler that I think is kind of the same as they are in the ring in real life?
Who's that?
Um, this version of Jey Uso.
Oh yeah, Jay Uso, man. He has got some steam behind him. He's main event Jade, no doubt. The company's pushing him. His entrance is great. That's one person that they talk about the Wyatt potentially attacking because he's kind of taking away the Fireflies
Mm.
from Bray.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But like that entrance, when I saw it in real life at SummerSlam, I was like, oh, this is it. This is like the moment it turns. He's doing it right. The yeet, no yeet. He's had some killer matches too with Gunther recently, and he looks the part. He's doing way better than Jimmy. No offense to Jimmy. Jimmy has like no identity. He should just really go back in the bloodline, in my opinion, because he's not even on TV right now.
I think he got injured.
Oh, did he get injured?
So what happened with their match? One of the reasons, going back a little bit to WrestleMania 40, I was looking at an interview and he was saying like our match was supposed to be longer and he was disappointed too,
Hmm.
because it wasn't what they wanted.
Got you.
But the match before ran longer,
Yeah.
so they cut off their time, so it wasn't as
I don't think
good.
any time should be cut in WrestleMania when you have 2 days,
I know,
right?
but still, like so he whenever their thing happened after like in the last match
Yeah.
for Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, and all the stuff that he jumped on the table. He
Yeah.
got injured
Oh,
there.
did he?
Yeah.
That explains a lot, but I also just think he's like in identity crisis mode where Jay really ran with it. He found his thing that's working. I don't think Jimmy's gonna have that. Like I feel like him
I,
coming back with Roman would make the most sense, like the
yeah.
original one. So you put him and
And
Paul
then
Heyman maybe, and then you need one other guy,
right, and
Jacob
then
Fatu,
Roman, instead of being heel, they're probably gonna bring him more as a
babyface.
baby face, but
Yeah.
still with a bloodline kind of thing. And that might be when Jay goes back in and
Yeah, yeah, that'd be the
maybe
only way they could like be like, "Hey, we need you to like set this straight," and then they
right,
can kind of disband afterwards.
right.
But like if the Bloodline 2.0 does well, I don't see them. I see like a 2 year story out of that, you know, with their investments, and then Jacob Fatu is going to show up, and they're saying he's so good in the ring, and I've seen clips,
Yeah, that guy is
just how
pretty
he
agile. Like
moves.
it reminds me of Umaga.
Exactly, and they're afraid that he's going to outshine Solo, like we talked about. I think that's like perfect setup.
He has more experience than Solo.
But even think about bringing him in and fighting Solo to like take over that little faction. Solo then goes back with Jimmy and Roman, and then Jay kind of can do his own thing. So, because I don't think like Jay makes much sense in that anymore, which is speaks
Well,
volume to how good he's doing.
right. So Jacob right now is fighting like a lot of tag team matches with Silla,
Okay,
which Silla Fatu is Umaga's son.
okay,
And I'm pretty sure that
both of
it,
them.
yeah, like they both have that kind of like obviously Samoan
Hmm.
personality, and it's not a personality, it's their heritage and their culture, right? But if they bring in Silla,
Yeah,
I think that he should kind of continue his dad kind of persona where he didn't talk.
yeah. I mean, I think too, like that's what they were doing with Solo, which was why
Yeah, but
Solo was so good. Now he's talking more. And he's kind of in his own comfort zone, trying to work through it. Obviously, he's wearing like the suits and stuff, coming through, and
then
I
you
think he's
got
great.
Tama like growling. That's the video I saw is like
Yeah.
him growling.
You sound like a Jack Russell Terrier there. Uh, I'm Tamatanga. That's my MFT.
But he hasn't talked, right?
No, they haven't really had many speaking. I don't think they've spoke at all, like outside of like a blurb here and there. It's not like he's cut a
Like
promo.
Tama and Tonga
Tonga.
Kid, they haven't talked much.
No.
Yeah, but
And
he has more experience.
yeah, both of them do
Okay.
than Solo. Um, And I think it'll be interesting though. Like Paul Heyman's definitely the piece that is like gonna bring the two together, bring them apart or whatever. Um, and they could make like a huge faction. Like
Hmm.
you could see like the bloodline all together, which would be insane. And then you have like Cody Rhodes and like it's like old NWO stuff. So like you get too big, you're like, how do you take down this group? And we
You
can't join
think
the
Cody
bloodline.
will go heel?
He had talked about it. He had said like he thought about like going heel, but like he's too big of a he's John Cena, right? He's gonna be that company man. He's gonna wear his suits. He's going to legitimately be that baby face for the next 2 years. I don't see how you could develop. You could turn heel, absolutely, but he doesn't even have like a
He'll
faction to turn heel on.
he'll be the head of the Wyatt family.
Could you imagine? Just the guy in the suit with all these
Right.
crazy characters around him. Yeah, I couldn't see that. I'm excited to see it though. Like they've been doing some good stuff with Wyatt Six, just promotional wise, and I think that's one of the more like I'm totally gonna tune in on the 17th to see what happens.
Yeah.
And that
Oh, I forgot. Of course, we're the rambling dudes. Um, that shot from Logan Paul's fight with Cody.
yeah,
So that shot when
yeah,
he
yeah,
jumped out of
with the
the
drone.
ring, that was pretty cool.
I will say WWE has been killing it with these drone shots and just like alternative camera shots. Like they are like reinventing how you look at WWE from like a fan perspective. It usually just be like the switch cameras. Now you have these like live walk around following. You get like the feel, the atmosphere of the crowd. Those drone shots are nuts. That one with Logan Paul is fantastic. And these are all new, so they're still figuring it out. But to be able to follow like Jay out was the big one they tried to Sammy coming in,
Mhm.
fantastic. Even like just going through the ropes and like following and walking around, like these live kind of strolling shots. Unbelievable. I love where they're going with these. I think it's gonna just keep getting better. And it's like that added element
Mhm.
of going into the future of WWE with Triple H in charge. But I love them. I think they're so cool and like just seeing like the atmosphere like gives you a better feel of like the
Right.
size of the
Yeah.
crowd if you will like when
Yeah.
you're up close you don't really get like how many people are there but
Right.
like when you're out and this guy's on the top rope and he's standing there and there's thousands of people watching him and then you see him fly off like could you imagine if they had that for mankind's fall
Oh my god.
off the top of that cage it's already insane what they have footage wise for that but uh just to see that would be insane. Also, speaking of falling off cages, you see Edge broke his leg.
No, I
Yeah.
saw it in the text, but I haven't seen the.
So Malachi Black versus Adam Copeland, if you will, Edge. At Double or Nothing was a cage match. Great match. Gangrel showed back up with the
I see.
Brood. We talk
Yeah.
about factions, talk about fantastic faction. The Brood, Gangrel came and delivered some Impaler DDTs. I was jumping out of my seat. He spit the blood at him. Um, great against the House of Black members. Look, I'm getting better at AEW. How about that, Trevor? Anyways, uh, but he did a spot where he at 53 or whatever he is, jumped off the top of a cage, which is an extended cage, maybe like higher than WWE's one. It was a pretty high one. Jumped off to Malachi Black through a table, but he landed on his feet directly and he snapped his tibia. Still finished the match and then went back. Had someone help him out. I can't remember. I think it was probably Gangrel. Gangrel helped him out to the back because he had
I gotta
broken his
watch
leg.
it.
But
Yeah.
he flew from the top. It was a really weird landing, and he got Malachi Black through the table, won it, but now he's got a broken tibia. So that's kind of opens up that championship where that's going to go. But overall, kind of a good match. You could definitely see the difference between AEW and WWE. Like they put like barbed wire around his head and was like strapped him up and stuff. It was nuts. There's a story going back to like ECW days where Kurt Angle was in attendance and they like almost crucified a guy like and Kurt Angle's like, I can't do anything like that. I'm an Olympic champion. Like, I can't be a part of this promotion. So that's like how they miss Kurt Angle. So I was like joking, like, hopefully the next Kurt Angle wasn't in the crowd for that spot because it was intense. Like they were putting barbed wire over people's heads, and there was definitely blade cuts. And people, man, Malachi Black was leaking. It was like a hose. Like the ropes were turning red. That's how much blood they had coming out of them.
Dang.
But it's a completely different product. Like MJF came back too, and like he lit a fire under himself for sure because it was a great promo. Looked in phenomenal shape. I really like him on AEW. I think he's very much stays in character. He's all about the show, the product. Got tattoo, says he's all in. I was joking. I was like, well, if his next contract comes out and he's WWE, he's gonna have to get that tattoo covered up. Um, but I mean, he's betting on himself, and he's doing a good job. So we'll see how that goes with that storyline as well. I'm sure Trevor would be pumped about it, talk about it. He's not
Right.
here today, so I get to talk about it, and I can say whatever I want. But I'll keep it cool because I really enjoyed the Double or Nothing show. I thought they had stellar matches. The one match I thought was kind of over the top was the Anarchy in the Arena, which is what it's supposed to be. But I enjoyed the build up to it, and then I was so tired because there's ran really late too. It was like midnight, and I was like, I'm gonna fall asleep, and I fell asleep during it.
No, perfect.
But like Darby Allin got set on fire. They were playing the final countdown through the crowd, beating each other up. It was a lot of fun. Um, and I enjoyed the show, and that's what it's about. I would say though, it's tough to watch that, especially their product is definitely centered towards adults. So like if you have kids or anything, like you wouldn't be like, hey, let's watch AEW because they curse and there's blood and all this stuff. But it's definitely designed for those '90s kids that grew up during the Attitude Era. That's their style, and I get that because I grew up during that era. But it's interesting to look at both the products, and I get why
Mhm.
people are like WWE sucks because it's not this, and then
It's
people are like,
entertainment.
yeah,
Yeah,
either way, like I'm like, this
yeah.
is great, great
Yeah,
stuff. Um, so it's like kind of like we watched it as kids, so I can't be like, hey, kids shouldn't watch this, because like
right.
it's the rebellious nature of wrestling, and that's what makes it great. Is like that anti-heroes like the Stone Cold Steve Austin's, the Degeneration X going against authority, going against the cultural norms type of thing. That's what made it great. It's like
Mhm.
you can't tell me what to do type of thing, and
Right.
that's what AEW is doing. You can't tell me what to do. You can't put me in a box. I'm gonna do it my way, and the way that they're doing it is fantastic. It meets their audience's needs. I think the booking is a little off, but that's a common thing with Tony Khan right now. But overall, great show, Double or Nothing to end their year. So
Is that the one that you sent that somebody almost got impaled?
yeah, so Big Cass now Big Bill, which is an awful name. Big Cass, you need to change that. Big Bill, his name's Big Bill. That's his wrestling name, Big Bill.
BB.
But Big Bill was on the apron and he went through a table and the leg shot up right next to him,
I saw
like,
that.
and he almost got impaled. It was insane, like watching it live. We're like, oh, Big Bill almost died.
He's like, he's look. I saw the video. He's like in the table and he goes, move his head,
And
almost
he's a
hits.
huge dude. So like
Yeah,
that table blew up. But I do like the elements of that, like more hardcore matches and things of that nature. I think
yeah.
it's good
No,
sparingly. I think they do it a lot.
I'm used to more hardcore matches than anything else, just
Yeah.
because people in Puerto Rico were all into that, and
Yeah, then you'd
we
love
had a lot of
AEW,
yeah, we
honestly.
had a lot of blood, every single show that I remember watching, and the I remember watching or seeing Gangrel
Yeah.
live because he went to one of the shows down there.
Man, he was moving pretty good. I think the dude's almost 60, and he was hitting those DDTs. I mean, he's always been. I feel like he kind of just disappeared for whatever reason.
Mhm.
They were gonna do it for WWE during the
He
WrestleMania.
wanted Edge wanted
They
it,
couldn't
but
come up with the money, or they didn't
yeah,
come up with the figure he
they
wanted.
didn't. Yeah,
Could you imagine that pop at WrestleMania if he did it there? Holy smokes,
was
it'd have
it a
been
big
nuts.
pop in here? Like
It's a pretty
a
big
lot of
pop. Like I
okay.
think people were excited, but like at WrestleMania, just the pops are out of the world, out of this world.
I think that's a cool thing with wrestling though. It's like yes, you have fans for WWE, you have fans
It
for
shouldn't
AEW,
be.
but you have fans like us that will watch it all. Maybe
Yeah,
not follow it every day, but you know wrestlers from both places, and
absolutely.
you get excited to see the old people coming back and old people coming back.
Yeah, we're getting old.
But it's
The
just
retros.
because yeah, nostalgia
Yeah.
sells a lot too.
Well, that's what it's designed around, really. It's like, how do we? It's like generational, right? So you have sons, and you take them to a show, and then you're like, I watched this when I watched this guy wrestle when I was your age,
I
right?
know.
That's a lot of people in Ric Flair. Like, I used to watch him when I was your age. Like, he's still going, and he's still that guy. And a lot
Hmm.
of people like look at these wrestlers outside of the company as their character work. A lot of the characters are developed through WWE, but the people that sell them are the wrestlers. They sell them in the ring, they sell them on the mic. There's sure branded characters, things of that nature, but the people who make it are the people doing it, right? So when you look at Edge, he's doing it at 53, reinventing himself. Well, Chris
Mhm.
Jericho's doing it. All the heat he's getting, he's still doing a fantastic job. Oh, and that match
Christian?
too that he had Christian's was in the championship match, right? For AEW's championship. He looked arguably better than Edge and Jericho, and they're about the same age. Um, but the one thing I was gonna say about the Christian match that I did, or not Christian, Chris Jericho's match that I haven't seen before with Hook and some other fella. I can't remember his name right now. It was like one other guy. They had dice that they laid down, and I've never seen dice used in a match. Like they've used
Dice.
like dice that you'd throw.
Yeah.
These dice, like you'd use tacks. So there's just dice all in the ring.
Hmm.
I was it Orange Cassidy? Might have been Orange Cassidy. No, Orange Cassidy did Tony Barrett, I
I
think.
guess if you're following one of the dices, it hurts.
Oh yeah. I'm
Yeah.
mad that I can't remember the other guy. Trevor can call me out for that. It's cool.
It's
It is
alright.
what it is. I'm a new
Send in a
AEW fan.
comment.
I'm a new AEW fan. I've been starting to get in it. I'm just trying to be able to talk about all of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think overall we're in a good spot for wrestling, combat sports in general. I could talk about combat sports all day. Also, just our editing process. Yeah. So
Alright.
this has been another edition of the Rambling Dudes. Where's my mask? Where's my mask?
Yeah, don't break it though.
I won't break it. No promises. How much does this cost?
$50.
Oh shoot! Look at that PG. That's the WWE in me. Didn't swear one time. All right, that was as graceful as I can. Another edition of the Rambling Dudes. Thank you for tuning in. It's been a great time here with Yachty. Hopefully next week we get Trevor back in here to talk some more things wrestling, talk more things WWE, AEW. But thank you for tuning in. Check out the Nerd Archive production as I get away from the microphone. Check out all of our other things that we got going on. If you have anything, if you think, if your team Bloodline, put that one up in the comment section. Let us know. Tell us what you think. Feel free to join our Discord.
Yes.
What's the Discord?
The archive.
The Archive. Join the Archive Discord. Let's keep this chat going. Anyways, we love you. Goodbye.
Peace out. Just want the sound.